So, for those of you who struggle with depression, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll relate to this. For those of you going through a hard time, maybe you're not depressed. Maybe you're just feeling depressed. Maybe you don't actually suffer from depression. You'll know what I'm talking about. And we're humans. We all go through it. 2020, that impacted a lot of people, and a lot of people were feeling depression for the first time. This year, with my divorce and with moving here and having disagreements with my dad and the whole money situation, going from job to job, not feeling successful, not feeling like I can provide for my kids, I suffer from depression normally, and it's just something that this fly is driving me. It's something that I've struggled with my entire life, and I think that depression can be hereditary, and it's kind of been passed down from my family. And me and my mom don't have the best relationship, and I really haven't had a really good, healthy family dynamic. So those are the ingredients for where my depression came from. And then the added ingredients of last year into this year is why it's been acting up so bad. So here's what depression looks like. Been hard. It's been hard to wrap my head around getting motivation to do anything. And when I found out that I wasn't going to make this my forever home, I was even discouraged more. And I tried to look at this place as somewhere that I'm renting, and it's something that I want to upkeep and just my happy place. And the garden I've been able to put myself into more, because that has been my saving grace, my refuge. But there's been something weighing on my heart heavy. And me and my dad, we got into that whole disagreement back in May. And now we're going into towards the middle of August. And I hate being the first one to come forward and say sorry, because I feel like I've had to be the first person all the time in my life. which has also aided in my depression, because I'm like, why can't anybody say sorry to me first? Like, why do I have to be the bigger person all the time? But I'm a religious person, and I've been doing a lot of praying lately, and since everything happened, as we always do, even religious people, we stray away from God, and we try to solve problems ourselves, instead of looking to Him to save us, or to help us. I think that we just get stubborn, because we're like, no, I'm gonna fix this problem on my own. I gave in, and I prayed, and God kept leading me towards an answer that I didn't want. He wanted me to be the bigger person. He wanted me to reach out first. And I get so frustrated, because that's what God always tells me, like, I should be the one to reach out first. And like, there's some times where you know that the door should be closed. Like, there's relationships that you've had with people that you know, I'm closing that door and I can't open it again, because it's not going to be good for anybody. But that wasn't one of these cases. My dad was my best friend. And when it came down to it, I think that the divorce between Shane and I, he took personal. He was hurt by it. It was almost as if I had divorced him in a weird way. Like, it's almost as if he was divorcing Shane unwillingly. Because we were pretty close-knit, So I wrote my dad, I reached out, I wrote him an email, and things are starting to look better. And I think we're going to be alright. I don't have to move. I still haven't had my first conversation with him. I'm kind of nervous about that. But I'm hopeful, because I know that every storm has to come to an end at some point. And there's either a rainbow or sunshine. But either or, the storm always comes to an end. So the moral of this is that God told me to do something that I felt like was hard. That was a big thing for me to do. Just without knowing the whole story, just know that that was hard. That was hard for me to do, to take that step. So if you have something in your life that you look at it and you're like, I don't think I could ever do that, just take that step. And once you take that first step, the next step is easier. And then the next step becomes easier. And then before you know it, you're walking toward your goals. So now I feel like I can start applying myself to my surroundings. And now I know that I can actually reach that next step of my dreams. And from here, the sky's the limit, right? Why is it when we're out here just minding our own business, trying to get some garden footage, that you always have this one bug. Does anybody else have this? This one bug that just loves you and won't leave you alone. What shall I name him? Or her. Most likely it's a her. My hand is so shaky from weed eating. So I apologize if it's shaky. Any names? Here's your debut. Hello, little buggy. So I have plans today. Look at my little bug friend. I think I have bugs up my nose. Look at it. Anyway, I have plans to mulch the garden and cut the grass and burn that pile out there. So that is my plan. But I also have a job interview for a part-time cleaning gig. You know, you always go out to the garden and you expect to get done way more than what you actually get done. Like, I want to have all of this mulched, my little sitting area that I have across from the driveway now, so that I can look at my garden. I have my little bistro set sitting here with the tree that fell down, acting like a cool fence. And I wanted to get this mulched. I did get this mowed and vacuumed. Goodness gracious. I did get this mowed and raked up. And I mowed a path to the burn pile so that I can get that done. So the motivation is there today. And it's like I'm trying to do it all today because the motivation is there. But yeah, so my work schedule has changed, and now I have more time, which is why I'm going to that job interview. Just another part-time thing. But while I have the time, and now I'm feeling good and things feel like they're back on track, I want to start taming the yard. I really feel like the yard is a really good indication on how my mind has felt over the last year and a half. Like, I feel like my dad always kept it mowed. Of course, he didn't have gardens like this. It was all just grass. And there's a ginormous tree right here that produced tons of leaves. But the soil is not very great because, you know, he just had the grass for years. So I feel like it's kind of barren. And a lot of it wasn't even grass. It was a lot of weeds and almost like moss and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to really work at building the soil health. So I'm going to put cardboard down over all my garden beds going into fall. So the next year, hopefully, we invite all those good critters and we can get the soil healthy again. So yeah, my main focus has been maintenance right now. Like, just trying to maintain everything and try to make it look tidy. Like, I need to tidy this yard up. You know, we have 2 acres here. Can you imagine if I had 2 acres to actually try to maintain? Because I like push mowing, which I'm going to have to give in and use the rider. Shane said I can borrow it. So I'm going to do that when he gets home. And for those of you who don't know, Shane's my ex-husband. He lives next door. We live next door to each other. That's how we knew each other. We grew up next door to each other. Became best friends, and that's how that worked. But yeah, he's gonna let me borrow his lawnmower when he comes home, and I can get a lot of this done a lot faster than I can push mowing, because most of it, I will show you, is tall. I'm just gonna show you. I mean, comes up to my waist. You can see all behind me. pretty tall. See, that's not mowed. And then you get over to my little... Yeah, you guys, I literally mowed a trail so that I could get over to that side of the yard. This is where the septic was put in. So this is the leach field, and that's why I think that it's so prominent. And then I was mowing this, and I ran out of gas. So, yeah. And I need to free my Rosa Sharons, because I have one here that has tons of buds. Look how budded up it is. But all these weeds, look at this one's being completely shrouded out by that. I need to get my clippers, and because otherwise it's going to be going a wonky shape. And I want them to go straight up. I need to trim all this back. Yeah, the fence line needs some attention. Like these, my arborvitaes are getting engulfed. Look at them. Oh, there's my hard rake. I was looking for that. My grasses are actually starting to take off and look pretty decent. Yeah, I'm coming through and mulching all of where I have mulch. I'm even going to mulch the beds because that mulch has been sitting long enough. For those of you that don't remember, that mulch is all from that big huge tree with those cinder blocks on it. It's from that. It's been sitting long enough. It can go on there now. So good morning. I want to close out this video. So me and Dad, we've made up, and I've decided I'm going to divide the yard and give Dad a section of the backyard. I feel like that will help me with maintenance of the yard, and I think that it'll also help him with just feeling like more comfortable that he's got a space to go to. And honestly, that's all I've ever wanted for both of us, is to live happy and comfortably. So I think it'll start from here, like where that pool ladder is. I'm not 100% sure. I might even go smaller and go from the back of the garage over, because I do want this space of the yard to do stuff with. And seeing as now him and I've talked, he's going to put me on the deed and I'm going to be here forever, that would be the best. Get April. I'm going to put mulch underneath all of this probably today. We'll finish mulching the yard. It's been a couple days. I went over and we had a bonfire with Shane last night, the kids, and cooked out. It was fun. That's why I like being here. It just works. It makes sense. We're all together. Yeah, me and my new boyfriend, and all of us just get along so great. It just feels so natural. Look at the birds. I'm thinking about putting a bird feeder over here by my little sitting area. I'll take you and show you the backyard for a second. So we're gonna end up scrapping this. There's stuff in it that needs gone through, and we're gonna scrap it. So like I was thinking of coming out here with fence and just going across through the camper. Or maybe I'll even just go from the corner of the garage and then back. I'm gonna move my chicken coop over there. I'm gonna move the swing set over there. So anyway, I was thinking about going from the corner of the garage back, and then so then he would have all of this. It's his own private area. And then going from right here where all this stuff is, like from right here, those poles are, put the fence back up and come across here like that from this corner of the house, and have that, because that's where the old fence was, you could see. if I put a fence back up right here, he would have this whole corner of the yard. Like, I would still have the woods, but we share that. It's not like mine or his. The whole yard is shared. I'm just giving him this space of privacy where my kids don't come in here and he can do what he wants. And my dad's a private person and I respect that. I always have. Do I think it's kind of weird how private he is? Yeah, but we're all different. So this was his garden, and he did that to keep his dog out of it. That made good sense. You know, I mean, like most people do that. He bought it to put his dog in it, but his dog kept getting out of it. So he's like, I'll just put the garden in it, let the dog run. Yeah, so my chickadees, I'll show you where I'm gonna put them, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. So I wanna clean up this whole corner, get everything out of here, cut things down, mow it, get it all I wanna get the fence in around here, and I might do that tall fence. And like right here where I'm standing, probably like right here is where I wanna put my chicken coop. So this whole corner can be for the chickens. So that's the idea. And so we just have to move it from over there over here. Maybe Shane will help me.